So I recently had a YouTube subscriber ask me to make a video for white men who are entering into a relationship for the very first time with black women. What are some of the things that they should know that would be helpful for them to know to have the best experience with that black woman? And I made a similar video like this one in the past, but it's been some time since I made that video. And so I thought it would be a great time to make an updated version of that video. And so today we're going to talk about the 5 things that, in my humble opinion, I believe could be very helpful for non-black men to know about black women when you are entering into a relationship with a black woman for the very first time. Now, I am commonly asked by non-black men, why do some black women opt to wear wigs, extensions, and just other styles that are not their natural hair? And there's a plethora of reasons for that. It could honestly just be like myself. I just prefer protective styles. I really enjoy wearing protective styles. I like the versatility that protective styles offer me, even though I tend to, wear the same ones over and over. But it could really just be as simple as that. She's someone that likes to switch up her look, and she doesn't want to have to alter or potentially damage her hair, her natural hair, to do so. And on the flip side, there are many black women who choose to wear protective styles such as wigs, weaves, extensions, all the things, because they have internalized insecurities, they have internalized hatred and dislike and disdain for their natural hair. As we all know, at least here in the United States, the beauty standard is long, straight hair, or if not straight hair, loosely textured hair, and very long, luscious, and flowing. And for many black women who don't fit that standard, who don't fit that mold, we have been conditioned to believe that we are less attractive, we are less feminine, and the list goes on and on. And so there are many black women out there who choose to wear their hair in protective styles and styles that are just not their own natural hair because of those reasons. And then there's also just the fact that a lot of us do wear our natural hair. And it's kind of like a funny thing because a lot of us do wear our natural hair. And a lot of black women have experienced criticism for wearing their natural hair because it's considered sloppy or messy or unprofessional. Our version of like bedhead for those of us with natural hair that's not necessarily loosely textured. Our version of bedhead isn't seen as acceptable in the same way that looser textured hair is considered acceptable and even like sexy when it's bedhead. And so that's your reason. And I think that's important for you to know that in the United States, and I'm sure across the world, but at least here in the United States, you have a lot of black women who feel deeply insecure about their natural hair. And so when they choose not to wear it, that could be a reason why. And so if you're in a relationship with a black woman, I would highly encourage you to encourage her, to make her feel beautiful about her hair. If she's wearing her natural hair, make her feel beautiful. If she's wearing like a protective style, make her feel beautiful. Compliment her and encourage her on the ways in which she wears her hair. I mean, she could be the most confident woman in the entire world, like the most confident woman on the face of the planet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she has become immune or that she is immune to societal conditioning and societal programming. And so you just want to make sure that you are encouraging her, that you are showing your love and appreciation for her, and in particular when it comes to the ways in which she wears her hair. And I want to add to that, if you meet her, if you two come together early on and you are not attracted to the way in which she is choosing to wear her hair, please do not even move forward. Like, don't pass go. Like, abort mission. Because the worst thing that you can do is say, well, I don't like the way she wears her hair, but I'm going to date her anyways, because what I'll do is I'll just tell her over and over and over that I don't like the way she's wearing her hair until she gets to the point where she changes her hair to a style that is suitable, that is digestible, that is attractive to me. Do not go into the relationship wanting to have her change something about herself. if you don't like the way that she is choosing to wear her hair, if that's something that's like a deal breaker to you, it makes you less attracted to her, then just go find someone whose hair and the way that they wear it that is attractive to you. So try to be cognizant of the situations in which you're placing your Black woman. Sometimes, as a man, and in particular as a non-Black man or as a white man, you may not feel the vulnerabilities and the insecurities and just the lack of safety in a particular environment that a Black woman may feel vulnerable in, may feel insecure in, or just, again, feel a lack of safety within. So I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to start taking inventory on the places in which you are taking her, you are choosing to take her with you to, and getting her insight on how she feels in those places. My boyfriend is really great about this because he used to kind of be really shitty about this. And I made sure to, like, from the very beginning say, hey, like, this is something that is meaningful to me and I want you to start being considerate of this. And now he's fantastic about it. Now before we go anywhere, I mean, you know, it's not always, right? Like, we do spontaneous things. But overall, now, before we go anywhere, he lets me know, like, hey, this is where we're going. This is who's going to be there. How do you feel about going there? And when we get there, you know, he checks in. He's like, hey, how are you feeling? Are you having a good time? Are you enjoying yourself? And then when we leave the place, he usually will also come back around and be like, hey, how was that for you? Did you enjoy that? Do you want to go to that place again? And, you know, this can sound kind of tedious, right? It can almost sound like you're dealing with just a very high maintenance, uppity person, which, you know, to some degree, I don't think there's anything wrong with being high maintenance. But the point that I'm getting at is that even though it can sound tedious, it can really go such a long way in building trust and building a sense of security with you, between you and your woman. It can go such a long way into making her feel seen, making her feel valued by you, and knowing that you are trying to protect her, and that, again, you just really care about her, you care about how she feels, and you care about her insights. And to add to this point, this is for my ladies out there who may be watching this. If your man wants to go somewhere and you don't want to go, that is okay. Like, that is absolutely okay. As long as it's not something that's, like, going to jeopardize or compromise the relationship. But, like, if you just don't have an interest, but he still wants to do it, like, let that man go. You know, like, let him go. You do your thing. He does his thing. Of course, you know, in a healthy relationship, you should have things that you two want to do together. You should have places that you want to go to together. You should have people that you want to see together. You should have overlapping interest, but not every interest has to overlap. I think that it is so important, especially in an interracial relationship, no matter what the dynamic is, no matter the racial demographic of that relationship. I think it's so important to celebrate one another's cultures depending on the level of importance that culture has on the individuals involved in the relationship. And this could be a big thing, you know, like this could be something as big as going to visit the place that she considers her homeland, meeting the people from where she comes from and the people within her family, within her inner circle. But this could also be as small as just like she likes a certain meal. She likes to cook a certain meal and you either A, try to cook it for her. That could be really fun if she's open to that. Or you could just enjoy the meal with her. And even if you don't enjoy it, try it. Just give it a try. And then say, hey, you know, I wasn't feeling this, but maybe we could try something else if you're interested in it. It is so, so important that you really take the time to shower your Black woman with love, with care, and with affection. And to do so in ways that she appreciates. So maybe that means that you two have to learn each other's love languages, but also that you do so in a way that is true and that is genuine. You know, a lot of Black women feel as if we are the least cared for, we are the least seen, we are the least valued. And funny enough, we are so often accused of being so masculine and so aggressive, but I don't think anyone ever takes the time to consider that maybe we are this way, maybe we are acting this way in not acting, but maybe it's actually in reacting. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to provide for ourselves. We have to look out for ourselves. And we haven't necessarily been afforded the luxuries that women of other races have been afforded. And so just to be seen, just to get our point across, just to make our way through this world, we have had to enter into these more masculine or more aggressive positions and taking on more of those masculine stances and postures because we've had to literally survive. So again, be affectionate with us, be playful with us, tease us, do all of the things that you would do with really any woman of any race. But just be particularly cognizant of the fact that, and it's going to depend on the woman and it's going to depend on her experiences, of course. As I've said, we're not monolithic. But it's important that, you just keep in mind that this is a world that in many ways has been designed to devalue and to ignore Black women. And so if you really shower your Black woman with affection, if you really pour into her, I know for a fact you're going to get that back twofold. Now, with this last point, I need to make this disclaimer. I need to preface with saying, if you and your partner, if you and your lady love have different worldviews, that's one thing that's already kind of questionable, but you do not want to pursue a relationship with someone that you have separate core values from, separate worldviews, and not only are those core values and worldviews different, but they're oppositional. You do not want a relationship where you don't have the foundation built. There's not a commonality in your foundation. That's just not going to lead to harmony. That's not going to lead to an enjoyable experience. So I want to start off by saying that, it's one thing to have a few things that you don't share in common, but core values. Core values need to be the same or very similar. Now, I have noticed that in some cases, there are men out there who can feel discomfort, who can feel significant discomfort when they are not sharing an experience with someone else, when their experience does not match the experience of this other person. And sometimes they can become really defensive and argumentative about that experience, in a lot of ways not to actually gain clarity or to gain understanding, but just to protect and solidify their ego and their own worldview. And I just want to say this. You don't have to understand to be understanding. You do not have to understand to be understanding. And so if your Black woman approaches you with something that is completely different from your experience, that is completely just different to you, just let her have it. Because here's the thing, most of the times we just don't know what we don't know. And a lot of times we don't even see the things that we know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you an example. My boyfriend is super duper into cars. Mikey loves his cars. He knows everything about cars. Cars is just his thing. I don't know shit about cars. I'm just going to be really transparent. I know absolutely nothing about cars. And so let's say that we're riding somewhere together. We are riding somewhere together. He may see something. He may see a car and be like, hey, insert car fact, because I can't even repeat an example because I know that little about cars. But he may say something. He may mention something about a car. I don't know anything about cars, so I didn't see that. I didn't experience that. That's not what I saw. But that doesn't mean that he's wrong. It just means that I don't know enough about the situation to really notice what he noticed. And so it's the same thing. Is the exact same thing. And I want you to be cognizant of that. She has had most likely a different experience in this world than you have. And so be open to the fact that, she might see things that you don't see. And that doesn't make you less of a person. That doesn't make you less intelligent. that doesn't mean anything. We're all ignorant to something. We all have blind spots, and those don't make us bad people. Our blind spots don't make us bad people. What makes us bad is when we cling to those blind spots, when we are resistant to kind of like clearing those blind spots. That's when we become questionable. That's when we become morally questionable. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. I don't know if y'all noticed, I have been rocking like a bathing suit throughout this video because you know what? Sometimes you have to create content and you got to go outside and take a swim, and you know, sometimes you just have multiple things to do in one day, and this is one of those days. And so, you know, just mind the business that pays you. Just do that. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you all soon, and have a lovely weekend if you are watching this throughout your weekend. Bye, everyone.